Hey, what's up? Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, traders. Hope everyone's having a great day. Morning to all. It is Tuesday, February 28th, so it is the last trading day of February. Wow, these weeks and months are going by fairly quickly here. We're already 2 months deep into the new year 2023, and we have the options expiration coming up in a few weeks, mid-March. So hope everyone is doing well overall. And there's not too much news to talk about. There's Fed speakers that are coming into the end of the week, I should say. And other than that, not too much crazy news going on. The market's kind of chopping and rotating sideways in lieu of that. So, a few short things to talk about, but the main thing that I do want to talk about is going to be the market and the levels that we're going to be breaking down today. There has been some retail news recently. Retail is on the radar, retail earnings on the radar, mainly, I should say. And Target is due to publish its Q4 earnings pre market. They already have. Kicking off the session, that will include a quarterly reports of Costco, Dollar Tree, Macy's, Kohl's, right, and some more retailers. So if we take a look at those guys, what did we see overall here in the pre-market session? Give me 2 seconds while I look for these. I'm prepared as always. So Target reported earnings this morning, barely budged realistically. It hasn't really moved that much. It's gapping lower just slightly here right now here on the pre-market session. Earnings came out above expected on both the revenue and the earnings per share front. Costco coming out on Thursday, I should say, right, and more of the retailers coming out a little later this week. So Target, slight little downside move on the earnings. Overall, uh, this earnings period for retailers should caution some commentary across the retail sector from the likes of Walmart, Home Depot, as well as toy manufacturing company Hasbro and discount retailer Dollar Tree, or Dollar General, I should say. Well, Target's stock has marked a double-digit gain since the start of 2023, rebounding from a sharp decline in 2022. Shares have faltered slightly amid a spat of less than optimistic commentary from many peers. So today's guidance can be an issue, and it will give us an idea of what Target is looking for. I haven't necessarily looked at the earnings, to be honest with you guys, but we can do that here. Target forward guidance earnings. It doesn't seem like it's been too bad because the stock is barely down here on a slight little dip here pre-market. Another thing to talk about while I look for some of this forward guidance on Target, what's going on with Q3? I think some of the earnings, some of the guidance is fairly okay. Let's see. Um, Walmart again, if you kind of drill it back, Walmart cautioned against for caution for forward guidance could be a little rockier. That's why we saw a dip in that name. But one of the main stories that has been on the front page over the last few days here, right? The fresh chapter in the Brexit story, right? Since it left the EU's referendum in 2016. So tensions have lingered around the bloc that Britain once counted itself as a part of, but things have been further complicated by Northern Ireland Protocol, which has been placed since 2020. The agreement followed years of negotiation on how to govern trade following Brexit and sought to prevent a hard border from being erected between the Republic of Ireland, which is part of the EU, and Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. So the backdrop at the time the protocol was seen as an essential to protect the 1998 peace deal that brought an end to decades of violence, often referred to as the Troubles, but eventually exposed other divisions by creating a border in the Irish Sea between mainland Britain and Northern Ireland. So communities that strongly identified as British in the latter region despised the arrangement, saying that it isolated them from the UK, while some of the British companies severed ties with Northern Ireland businesses due to increased paperwork. So a trade war also threatened to erupt after the UK reputed it and even threatened to override parts of the agreement and left Northern Ireland in the EU's single market of goods. So now they're looking to take another direction on this. Sunak, the third prime minister within a year, is aiming to heal ties with the EU while pushing a Eurosceptic MPs in his party and the DUP in the Northern Ireland to get on board. He just unveiled a new Windsor framework with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen that would also set two classifications of goods that traverse the Irish Sea: a green lane for Northern Ireland with minimal checks, and a red lane that would subject to a higher scrutiny and documentation for things destined to move into Ireland and the EU. So the framework also includes tax policy amendments, provisions for medicines, and sovereign mechanisms called the Stormont break. So this was a development right after we saw the potential for the 4-day work week coming out that we talked about yesterday. So still a lot develops out of the UK, not necessarily too um, effective of the market and the market movement, especially the S&P. So it's just news because otherwise we don't really have too much going on that will affect the overall market other than what we have in terms of Fed speakers that come out into the end of the week. Um, we have apparently we have a Fed speaker today, so that's interesting. We have this morning we had retail inventories, we had international trade goods, wholesale inventories, right? Blah blah blah. Today we have Chicago PMI 945, 10. We have consumer confidence and Richmond Fed manufacturing. So those two could be blips in the market. They could move things around, shake and stir. So between 945 and 10, I'd suggest that kind of really watch this thing. We also have money supply coming out at 1 p.m. and then Fed's Goolsby. I've never even heard of this Fed speaker, so I doubt it's going to be of any importance, coming out at 2:30 p.m. and then farm price at 3 p.m. That's the news that we got coming out today. So keep an eye on that. I'd say between 9:45 and 10, it's going to be a trickier situation to see what's going on with the overall market. I think there could be some movement based off that. But if we're taking a look at what is happening right now in the market, giving you guys some levels, this is what I'm entertaining. So yesterday, shit, one second. Yesterday, what had happened, we had a very, very interesting move that was bullish after we opened back above the 3990. That's an area that I was talking about yesterday. And I was looking at the 4 area, which is a huge distribution start where we were looking to fade the overall market. So that's what we were talking about. We posted that in our group as well as like Twitter and a bunch of places looking to fade that level, and even the entries and whatnot for a 30 odd point move, which was amazing. And today, what's happening is we bounced off of that 74 again over the pre-market session and have rallied above the 90s, the 3990s, which are holding now on the retest, and that is going to be a pivotal area. The 3990s are an area, the low 3990s down to 3988 are a region where the top of the distribution block sits. So as long as we can maintain above that and hold above that, realistically, the longs are going to try and take in control. And I'm going to be looking for targets of 4011, 4024. Those are areas that I'd probably look to fade if we manage to get up into them. Should we start moving back down under the 90s, then realistically the 74 is going to be a target, and we start closing below 74. I think the bears are going to try this into the end of the week. This is what I was thinking on Sunday on the weekend. I was thinking that earlier on in the session in the week, we're probably going to see an attempted bull run. Then we're going to wean off of that and look for some downside and potential close under 3950, where that's the point of max pain because it's under the 200-day average. It's where a lot of traders got long, and I think it's a point of max pain for a lot of money that gets really broken down, and usually markets like to move into that area. So that's all I have for today. Let's see how this thing shapes up on the session. Good trading. Good luck, everyone. And remember, check us out at community.tradeproacademy.com. We post ideas and trades on a daily basis. And I'd love to see you guys there. So thank you and take care.